What's something you thought was cool as a kid, but realized was illegal when you got older? When I was 10, I thought my Uncle Dave had the coolest summer job in the world. He was a traveling video game dealer, at least that's what he called it. Every weekend, he'd load up his old blue van with boxes of consoles, controllers, and game cartridges, drive around town and sell them at local flea markets and parking lot pop-up fairs. To a 10-year-old in the early 2000s, that sounded like pure magic. He was basically Santa Claus with a driver's license. Every Saturday morning, I'd beg to tag along. He'd always grin, ruffle my hair, and say, "Sure, kiddo, but you gotta help me carry the good stuff." The good stuff were the boxes marked with little red stars, always tucked under a tarp in the back of the van. Inside were stacks of shiny sealed video games I'd only seen in magazines, or store displays brand new titles that hadn't even hit the shelves yet. Halo, Grand Theft Auto, Pokemon, all perfectly wrapped, all for half the price of the big stores. We'd roll up to some open lot or gas station around 6 a.m., set up a folding table, and within minutes, people would start showing up. Grown men in hoodies, teenagers with backpacks full of cash, even a few store owners whispering deals under their breath. Uncle Dave would work the crowd like a showman, cracking jokes, demoing games on a little TV hooked up to a portable generator, and handing me $20 every time I helped close a sale. He always said the same line whenever I asked how he got all this stuff early. "I've got friends at the warehouse, kid. Friends who owe me favors." I thought it meant he was important. I bragged about it at school, how my uncle got the exclusive insider drops. Sometimes he'd get phone calls mid-sale and suddenly start packing everything up in a rush. "Gotta move locations," he'd mutter, throwing boxes into the van. "Competitors are trying to undercut me." Once, we even drove for an hour across the state line, parked behind an abandoned strip mall, and sold everything out of the van's open doors under a flickering streetlight. I thought it was thrilling, like we were in some underground game club. He let me keep a copy of every game we tested. My friends thought I was the luckiest kid alive, new releases before anyone else, free of charge. When I asked why we didn't sell them in stores like GameStop or Walmart, he said stores were too slow and too greedy. I nodded like I understood business. Everything changed one afternoon when I came home from school and saw 3 black SUVs parked outside my grandparents' house where Uncle Dave lived. Men in suits were carrying out boxes from the garage. Grandma was crying on the porch. That night on the news, I saw his face, my uncle, handcuffed, being led into a police car. The headline read, "Regional theft ring busted, millions in stolen, electronics recovered." Turns out his friends at the warehouse were actually warehouse employees. He'd bribed to sneak him pallets of new merchandise before shipment. He'd been reselling stolen consoles and games for years across multiple states. The good stuff boxes I'd been proudly unloading were straight from hijacked freight trucks. I found out later I'd technically been moving stolen property, a federal crime. I was too young to be charged, but that realization gutted me. I thought I'd been helping my cool entrepreneurial uncle make a living. Now, every time I walk into a game store and see rows of sealed boxes behind the counter, I think about those long summer mornings, the smell of asphalt, the hum of the generator, and how close I'd come to becoming part of something way bigger and way darker than I ever understood.